Welcome to the Watch Kaki channel where we bring you all the good and honest watch reviews. Welcome back to my studio. This is my dining table and I'd like to remind you to click the like and subscribe buttons because I've got new videos uploaded every week just for you and I really need your support. Thank you. In today's video, we're going to do a full review of this Seiko PADI diver here. I unboxed this one a few weeks back and this is the SNE575P1, and this entire series here, they don't have a nickname yet, so I'm just going to do it my way. I'm going to call it the Solar 38 throughout this review. So the entire Solar 38 model line, I think this one here was launched sometime in mid-2021. At the launch, they had 4 models, the 569, 571, 573. And this one here being the PADI Special Edition, it's got the reference number 575. So let me just show you the case back here, show you what I'm talking about. So it does have Special Edition laser engraved on the case back. Well, to be honest, it's not a big deal because we really don't know how exclusive these PADI versions are. There could be a few thousands of them being made out there. But you know, the PADI versions, they always have very interesting features like two-tone color or special hands and special dial design. So this is one of them. And this one here has got the globe design here engraved or imprinted on the dial here, which is also a solar panel. So this watch here originally came on a steel bracelet, alright, that also has a dive extension and all that, but upon filming the unboxed video, I've decided to put it on a Jelong FKM rubber strap, and I haven't looked back since because I really feel that it looks so much better with the FKM rubber strap. So it will stay on the FKM rubber strap for now. So I've zoomed in the lens a little bit as I start by sharing with you the specifications on this one here, the Solar 38. So in terms of K size here, it is indeed a 38.5 millimeters. Alright, so I know I've been calling it Solar 38, but the actual case size of the watch is 38.5 millimeters, and the bezel is also same size at 38.5 millimeters. You can see from the side profile here that the bezel doesn't protrude or get smaller as we look at case side here. So this watch here is also thinner than most Seiko divers due to the solar quartz movement as well as the smaller case design. So measuring from the base of the case back to the top of the flat sapphire crystal, it comes in at 11.2 millimeters. It's got a lug width of 20 millimeters, so together with the drilled lugs here, I think strap change is going to be a breeze. You're going to have lots of fun here with regards to strap changes, NATO's rubbers, stock bracelets and all that. Now this one here has also got a shorter L to L. It measures 46.3 millimeters lug to lug here. Crystal size on this one here is 28 millimeters, and it's got a really small crown here, 6 millimeters. I guess this is designed in line with a smaller watch case, so you can't exactly have a 7.5 to 8 millimeters crown on this one. And the Solar 38 here is also a rather lightweight watch owing to its small case size, quartz movement and all that. So on the rubber strap here, really nice FKM rubber strap from Jelong. On this strap here, it weighs in at 88 grams. Now on a stock bracelet size to about 17 cm wrist, I think it came in at about 140 grams. So let me just bring in my Seiko Samurai for comparison. So a Seiko Samurai on a rubber strap typically weighs in at about 121 to 122 grams, and as you can see, my Samurai is also strapped on to a Jelong FKM rubber strap, which I really love. And the SNE575 is powered by Seikos V147 solar quartz movement. Accuracy is plus minus 15 seconds per month. I think that's pretty standard and pretty decent for a quartz movement. Alright, it's nothing fanciful, nothing high-end, but I believe it gets the job done. It's got a 10-month power reserve, so it's one of those things where you can wear it for the weekend and then just chuck it into the watch case for the next 4-5 months and then pull it out again and it's just a few seconds off. So I think really no complaints with such a movement. Right, street price for the PADI Solar 38 is typically around Singapore dollars 400. I think on good days where you get coupons and vouchers, you might be able to find this one at slightly under 400 Singapore dollars. So now let me run you through the case design and build quality of the SNE575, and this one here has got mostly brush finishing. Alright, so I would say it's about 90% brush finishing here. Alright, the case side, top of the lugs, the bezel. Alright, so this sharp teeth here on the bezel, they are all brush finish. Alright, so it does have a very slim chamfer here, and I think this is a new feature for this one here, which is considered a budget Seiko diver. So most budget Seiko divers, Pro Spec series, they're not going to put in things like bevels or chamfers, but this one here, you know, surprised me, alright, quite a bit. So the mid case here also has a really nice curve to it. Alright, and when you combine that with a really thin case back, you get really good wearability and fit on this one here, because already being a small case, you've got this curve here and the case back doesn't protrude so much. So when you put it on your wrist, alright, it's going to, you know, work really nice. So overall, in terms of case build quality and all that, I would say this is a small step up from the lower budget Seiko 5 models. Alright, so I would say this is on par with, you know, the Pro Spec Diver series, but again, do not expect anything fanciful or saratsu polishing and all that. You've really got a good finishing here, no sharp edges or corners and all that. So I think that's really a positive sign from a Seiko diver. So now let's move on and talk about the dial design and talk a bit more on the colors found on this watch here. Okay, so at the first look here at this watch, I was really drawn to the light blue here, the sky blue accents here on the loom pip area and the dive markers on the first 15 minutes, as well as the pop of colors here on the minute hand. Okay, so I think this is really nice, the fresh pop of colors and all that. The other color combinations, they're pretty boring. Alright, you've got the standard grey, blue and brownish, and also an all black version on a rubber strap. So I think those were really boring. So instead of having the blue and red color contrast on this version, Seiko has decided to, you know, change things up a little bit here. So this PADI version does not have the red and blue accents and all that. Instead, they've just added this globe design here on the dial, on the matte dial here. So let me just wipe off all these fingerprints and smudge on the crystal. As you can see here, as I play with the light here, alright, you've got this really nice texturing. It's sort of like a globe design here on the dial, and I believe this one here also acts as a solar panel. So I guess this one adds an overall bit of fun to the otherwise rather bland design of this dial here. So overall, it is just the usual round markers, diver style hands and all that. So even the case design and the bezel design here looks pretty plain, sort of like a plain Jane, nothing groundbreaking and all that. So it's really nice to have the splashes of blue accents as well as the textured dial here. So I've just blasted the loom with my UV torch. I'm going to switch off the lights now and let me just check out the loom on this baby here. And boom! Alright, Seiko Lumi Bright Standard. You really don't expect anything else from Seiko. Okay, so the brightest, the best, longest lasting, most pleasing to look at. I really think this is no different. So full marks for this one in terms of loom and brightness. And here's a look at the wrist shot of the watch on my wrist. So strap on a Keelong FKM rubber strap. This one here fits really nicely. My wrist is about 17 cm, and I would say this watch here fits smaller wrists very well. Alright, so it's got that curve on the mid case here, and as a result, it sort of hugs onto your wrist. And now let's do some size comparisons with other Seiko divers I have in my studio. So first up, I'm going to put the Samurai beside this one here, the Solar 38, and at first look, you know, alright, it is a really small watch, the Solar 38. So it is dwarfed by the Seiko Samurai. 44 millimeters versus 38.5. So in terms of lug to lug though, it is strangely about the same. Alright, thickness wise, again, the bigger brother here, the Samurai, shows that it is the bigger brother. And next up we have a similar style of solar diver here in comparison. So this is the Solar Tuna, which is a giant, alright, at 47.5 I think. Even when compared to similar size watches, alright, so 38.5 versus 38.5 on the Zin, you will notice that the Seiko feels smaller, looks and feels smaller. I think it's mainly because of this rotate bezel here, this dive bezel. So when you got a smaller crystal opening, dial opening, it actually makes the watch look smaller. Alright, so they're both 38.5, but looking at this shot here, you will realize that the Seiko diver is made to look that bit smaller. And here's a bonus wrist shot of the watch on its stock bracelet. So the stock Seiko bracelet here comes with the Seiko's diver extension, and this one here also has hollow end links here. Alright, so not the best in terms of construction and quality and all that, because it still has that Seiko stem clasp and all that, but overall fit is still very good, especially when it comes to bracelet sizing and all that. I am very lucky to get a very good sizing from this bracelet, and it is rather comfortable. But for me, in terms of looks, I always prefer this to be on a rubber strap. So all in all, I would say the SNE575 Solar 38 model, it is a really well built, a smaller size diver, which many buyers will be attracted, alright, especially those who want a smaller diver, something less bulky, something for everyday wearing, with very little risk of banging against the doorway and all that. So I think this one here is really suitable for such buyers. And the build quality here is really good for the price that you pay, for around 400 Singapore dollars. I would say no complaints at all in terms of build quality. Alright, so it's even got a really nice bevel here along the mid case, and of course it's got sapphire crystal. Alright, so never mind the fact that it does not have any AR coating. Okay, that's the deal with Seiko. Alright, you don't get everything. However, I do find this watch to be very uninspiring. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Now, when it comes to this watch here, in terms of design here, I think there's really nothing special about it. In fact, I would go as far as to say that it definitely lacks character, and I really find this watch to look very boring. Okay, so if you take away things like these blue accents and the engraving on the dial here, I think this watch is just so painfully boring. Okay, so compared to other Seiko designs here, you've got things that look very unique. Okay, so at first glance, you know this is what it is. Yeah, Seiko Tuna design. This one here, you know for sure it is the Samurai with all the chisel and the faceting and all that at the case side. But this one here, alright, there's nothing special about this one in terms of case design, crown placement, markers, dial design, right down to the fonts used on the bezel here. There's really no standout character to this watch here. So there you have it. That was my full review of the SNE575P1, the Solar 38, newer model from the Seiko Pro Specs Diver series. So overall, it's a really well made watch, good size, good wearability, perfect choice for everyday wear and all that. But at the end of the day, I do feel that something is missing from this watch in terms of character, in terms of design, in terms of feel. Alright, there's no feeling at all when I look at the watch, when I wear the watch. I don't get the excitement or the love I get from wearing these designs. Alright, so these designs, I think they are standout designs from Seiko, but this one here, alright, slightly on the boring side of things. And if you ask me if I'll buy it again, I don't think I will purchase this watch if I had a choice to redo it all over again. So this is the Watch Lucky signing off. We're from Singapore together with George here, my co-reviewer. See you soon. Bye bye.